Big energy shifts. Have you noticed them this year? You probably have, or maybe you didn't even know it was an energy shift. You just felt really tired and heavy, or just not quite in your body, or not feeling like yourself. So, today in this episode, I am going to be helping you understand and how to deal with energy shifts. And I mean how to deal with big energy shifts. So stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Spiritual and Ambitious podcast. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill, but you probably already knew that. And if you love this episode or you love this podcast, I would love to see a 5-star review come in. You can review this podcast and give me 5 stars wherever you are listening from. And let's just take a moment at some of the messages that Spirit wants us to know about today's episode. So, the first card I have here is you are building a firm foundation. Pay attention to the details, and alone time is needed. Oh my gosh, yes, yes, please, alone time when it comes to having really big energy shifts. So, how do you deal with them? And what the frick are they, right? So, what are energy shifts? Well, energy shifts can be big ones that we know we have to do. So, right before we're coming up on a big project or something that requires more of our energy, then we know, oh, big energy shift, big energy is moving. And when we are starting anything new or ending something, that is a humongous energy shift for us. I mean, seriously, if there's something going on in your life that you're radically changing, that's a big deal. Like moving, ending a relationship, losing someone who's passed into spirit, or starting a new relationship and getting a new job, starting a new offer, starting your business, pivoting your business. Those kind of things are definite energy shifts. However, there are energy shifts that we're not always conscious of. And so we wander around here going, what is wrong with me? Why don't I feel like myself? I've been doing XYZ for years and now all of a sudden it's not working for me anymore. We can feel really tired. We can feel just really drained. We can feel different. Maybe we have different sensations in the body. Maybe we start craving something new. And when I say craving something new, I mean it can be on a macro level, like I want to do something to help the world. It can be something like I want to start a new career, but it can also be on a micro level, such as, huh, what is wrong with me? I no longer want to watch my TV shows anymore. I need to do something new. What am I going to do with myself if I don't watch TV? Or maybe you're craving something new in your diet. Like, I just need to have this certain spice. So, really pay attention to that. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you to go get it checked out with your doctor. But when we do have energy shifts, our energy is moving through our body. And sometimes it takes a little bit for our physical body to get with the program. So, we can feel like, okay, I'm burping more. Again, see your doctor. But I have a friend who, when she's moving energy or she's doing healing, she actually will burp more. So energy can be moved through your body and felt through your body, is what I'm getting at. But here's another thing: the world goes through energy shifts too. And that's what a lot of us are feeling right now, on top of our personal stuff. So if you're an energy healer, you are not only moving energy through your body for you, as we all are, but you're also moving energy while you're healing. If you're an intuitive, you're moving energy through your body while you are giving messages. No matter what your vocation is, if you're helping somebody else, you're going to be moving some sort of energy through your body for that specific exercise. And then you got the world on top of it. So, what I mean by that is there's astrology, right? There's things going on in the sky. There's Mercury retrogrades and Saturn retrogrades and all the different cycles of the moon and what sign the sun is in at the time. You get me, right? There's a lot of energies at play that are around us. And I'm one of those people that will say, you know what? Mercury retrograde does not affect me. I can still launch my program. I can still do what I want to do. And you know what happens? Something happens whenever Mercury retrograde is there. And it's like I am also going through some lessons. I'm like, why don't I just make things easier for myself? And I'll record an episode about Mercury retrograde so you have more understanding about it. But I'm like, if I'm going through energy shifts, maybe I shouldn't be launching a program right now. Maybe if I know that something is going to affect me in a more powerful way because I'm a more sensitive person. And if you're listening to this, you are a more sensitive person. Maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't be trying to do all the things right now. So, astrology is something, life changes, that's something. Our spirit guide direction, when we are receiving messages from our spirit guides, that's an energy shift too. They will tell us what we need to do in the moment. And we get so frustrated when they say, do nothing, have patience. There's nothing to be done. Ha ha ha. That's how we feel that they're saying it to us. But really, it's like you need to rest, park your butt, rest so that you can receive and clear and align to this new energy. I want you to think about it as a vessel. You are holding energy. And if you want to hold bigger energy, well, you need to strengthen your container of what you're holding. So, a small little container is not going to hold big energy. What will happen if you have all this energy coming into the small container? It's going to break. It is not going to happen. It's going to overflow and get overwhelmed. So, I want you to think about it that way. Oh my gosh, I'm dealing with big energy. So, what do I need to do to then help hold that big energy? One is you can't do what you've been doing before. It's time to rest and recharge and reinforce your energy. You have to make space for it. So if more energy is coming into your life, you've got to make more space, which also means you've got to let things go, right? You have to let things go if you want more things. One of the examples I use whenever I teach my abundance lessons to my students in Intuition Abundance Academy is I'll say, it's like you've ordered new furniture. If you want new furniture and you're ready to invite it into your home, what do you have to do first? Well, you can't just get that furniture and then put it on top of the furniture you have. You have to get rid of the stuff that you have now in order to make room for the new. So, how do you know when you're coming up against an energy shift when it's not conscious? Well, again, I gave you some signs. You feel tired. You feel like something's a little off. You're feeling like you're not able to generate the same results that once worked for you. And this could be in business, this could be in your health routine, this could be a change in taste of who you are. And you just feel like it's time for a change and it's time for a rest, even if you don't know what the answers are. Another symptom is sleep issues, feeling like you just can't get good sleep. And one of the reasons is because you'll tend to wake up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. The more common time I see is 3 a.m. And a lot of that has to do with your spirit guides taking on astral travels so that you can learn lessons and learn things about yourself and learn whatever's going on. But also, what's really important too is to know you'll get some downloads. You'll get some new energetic downloads that are helping reinforce your energy container. And when you're getting those energetic downloads, you've got to understand that sometimes it's so high vibration that you're not tired anymore. So sometimes people have trouble falling asleep, but really staying asleep is more of the sign that you are moving into a big energy shift. Now, a more logical approach to this is if you have an energy shift that you know about, sometimes you can lose sleep over it because you're worried and you're not fully trusting in what is going to be happening. So, those are some symptoms of how you know what the energy shifts are. And let me just tell you, the world is going through it right now. We have so many things going on, and sometimes it feels like a battle of good and evil. Sometimes it feels like we're in a Star Wars movie and there's the good side and the bad side. So I just said that and my recording software just glitched. I'm like, oh, that's a validation. That's pretty powerful freaking energy right there. I hit the nail on the head there. So understanding, I pulled this card earlier of the earth, that really speaks to the earth is changing. And the number that comes up on this card is 9, which is endings and completions of things. So there's a lot of energy that is percolating, a lot of old stuff that people haven't dealt with that they're now dealing with, a lot of pent up aggression, pent up emotions, things that they can no longer tolerate, and why that's happening and why so many people are leaving their jobs and they are doing something new or they are getting tiny homes so that they can just live on the land is because their vibration is shifting and they are no longer part of that paradigm. They are no longer part of the belief system that they used to have. They're no longer really believing the bullshit, to be honest, of what their ego told them in the beginning. Like, you have to have this job, you have to go to college, you have to do these things, whatever it is in their belief system, whatever they were doing that is inauthentic to their soul and their soul's mission, they're recognizing it and they're like, I'm done with that. I'm not doing that anymore. All right. So when we come back after this really quick break, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with these energy shifts. So stay tuned. This episode is sponsored by my free Spirit Guide Masterclass. Inside, you'll learn the 5 C's of Spirit Guide communication, your role with your Spirit Guides, 2 proven effective strategies to stop second guessing yourself and your intuition, and the single most important step to understand your intuitive guidance, along with 4 ways to perceive your spiritual intuitive messages. You'll also be getting a workbook to go through this class as well. You can join at messengerspirit.com/free class. Welcome back to this episode. We are talking about how to deal with big energy shifts in your life. I mean, we're shifting energy all the time. Every single thing we do is a cycle. You listening to this podcast episode is a cycle. And you can speed your cycle up and you can slow your cycle down, which is kind of funny because you can do that when you're listening to a podcast episode. You can put it on like times 4. So that's a great example of speeding a cycle up. However, we're talking about the big ones, like the life moment changes, and that can be for us personally, but also we can still feel big energy shifts of the earth and big energy shifts in this cosmos, whether it's a sun flare or Mercury retrograde or something else. So how do you deal with it? First thing I'm going to tell you is to lean into it. Lean into it and just experience what you're experiencing. Now, if you need someone to help you get through it, please seek out your therapist, but really, really lean into it and just know that you don't have to fix it right now. So many times we want to fix it. We want to stop feeling this way when we want to get it out. Your emotional body will have to experience it and purge it. If you try to spiritually bypass these emotions and kind of glaze it over, then you will not purge it. So I said in the first part of our episode that if you want to hold bigger energy and invite bigger energy into your life, then you've got to remove a big amount of energy in your life. So that's what I mean by energy shifts. There can be big energy coming into your life, like life-changing energy in a good, positive way, but you also need energy to leave your life that is not positive too. So that's what I'm talking about, energy shifts. And when it's not your personal energy and it's the earth and the world's, well, you're going to feel that energy shift. And if the planet that you're living on is going through a massive energy shift, your body has to acclimate to it. So lean into how you're feeling and let yourself release and purge. You will need to make space for the new energy to come in. The next thing I'm going to tell you to do is ask your body what it needs right now. So many times I talk about asking your spirit guides, and I still want you to do that. But a lot of times we neglect our body. Our body is wise. Ask your body what it needs. So many times ambitious folks will be saying, I got to do this. My mind says to go do this. I'm going to sit around. I don't have time for this crap. And your body's like, what I need you to do is to sit around. Please sit around so I can acclimate, or please feed me great, healthy things. Maybe your body is craving fresh produce or organic produce, or maybe something completely different. Maybe your body is wanting a different food that you haven't eaten for years and years. And logically, you don't understand, but perhaps that's what's happening. So as long as it's good for you and your doctor says it's okay, then great. Just listen to what your body needs. Especially for business owners. A lot of people think business owners don't work as hard. Oh my gosh. I think business owners work harder because after hours, weekends, please set boundaries with yourself. Listen to your body. If it wants to get up and needs a rest, do it. What I have learned is that if, let's say, that I have energy for the whole day and I'm feeling really great, and I kind of know my body's done, but I'm thinking to myself, I could do all these other things and write emails and create Instagrams and, create stuff about my offer and help my students or record a podcast episode. Because this is what happens in my real life. This is what I think. If I don't listen to my body and I still try to write that email, record that podcast episode, what's going to happen the next day? I'm going to feel like doo doo. I'm going to feel so bad because my energy's drained and my 8 hours of sleep did not catch up my energy. So it is always better to listen to your body now so that you do not get the repercussions later. And sometimes it's just not the next day, but like the next several days. So listen to your body and give it more balance when it needs it. The next thing I'm going to tell you is to give yourself grace. We are too hard on ourselves. Oh my gosh, I got to make this deadline. Oh my gosh, I've got to do this. I'm lazy. I'm not doing enough. I'm going to be honest with you here. Looking at my office, it is pretty cluttered. And my bedroom is pretty cluttered, like to the point where I would be way embarrassed if anybody came over. But that's my truth right now. That's my reality. And I have to really ask myself, hey, what is the priority? Well, the priority right now is to get up and serve my purpose. My priority, even before that, is to make sure my health is on point. And what my body needs is rest right now because I'm on my personal healing journey currently. But aren't we all? This stuff, I'll get to it when I get to it. At some point, I'm going to have to make this a priority, but it's not right now. And I'm going to give myself grace. Give yourself grace and understand that it's okay not to do all the things. Right. The next one is the permission to let go. So I've talked about letting go earlier, but we didn't really talk about the permission part of it. So understanding that you have to kind of give yourself not only grace, but permission to let stuff go. And our ego wants to cling on to every single thing. We don't want to let it go because then that means we don't have control. What if we need it? I mean, let's just talk about the closet, for instance. I got stuff I'm never going to wear. And I will do closet cleanses here and there every few years, but I want to face it. I'm not going to necessarily wear certain things. So the ego wants to say, but Whitney, you've seen trends and you've seen with your weight that you can fit into clothes before, and you wished that you wouldn't have thrown them away. However, I've got to say to my ego, I give permission to release this. And as I release this, I know that I will find something even better coming up. It's just a tangible example, but we're talking about big energy shifts. And so we are talking about big things to let go of. Now, don't get me wrong. Little things add up to big things, but give yourself permission to let go of the reins, not to be perfect. As a business owner, you want everything to be perfect. Give yourself permission. I used to beat myself up when I saw a typo in my email, and now I see typos. I'm like, oh, well, they know, it was authentic, like for sure. It's not any kind of AI generated. I write all my emails, and that's how it is. So give yourself permission to let go of your dream, even that you had 3 years ago. Maybe you had a financial goal that you wanted to get to, and now it's just not so much a priority. Or maybe you feel like you want it to be, but you just don't think it's reachable. Just give yourself permission to get yourself off the hook. And I want to bring attention to the card that I pulled today, the empath. This is alone time is so needed. So when you are processing and letting go, know that it is okay to just be alone, that you don't necessarily need to be around all the people, or that you do need time for yourself, and honor that. And sometimes we feel like we're being selfish when we put ourselves first, or we're selfish when we hold our boundaries with clients or our family or people that need us. Just feel yourself saying, it's okay. I need this recharge time. I need this reflect time. And when you do all these things, please know that you're not unproductive. You are being productive and you are building a firm foundation. So, the last piece of advice I'll give you is only follow your excitement. Now, sometimes that has parameters. Maybe you don't feel excited about paying the bills, or maybe you don't feel excited about doing the taxes. Things have to get done, and you can approach them with joy. As I am so excited that when I pay this electricity bill, I have coolness in the air from the air conditioning, and I have lights, and I'm going to be contributing to the employees that work there at the company. Maybe your excitement is hiring somebody else to do taxes. So, as much as you can, lean into what your excitement is. Now, I have listed this as the last step because excitement doesn't really come at the beginning of an energy shift most of the time. It can. Maybe you are feeling so excited about something, but when I'm talking about shifting an energy in your body, a lot of it seems to be healing. It's like you are moving a mountain out of your body and you're bringing in new energy. So that usually comes at the end. The more that you can navigate your path and follow your path, and that is going to be following your excitement, the more in alignment you will feel and the new vibration that you'll feel too. But I do know so many people now that are going through it and they're saying, I don't even know what I'm excited about anymore. I'm excited to not work. I'm excited to do nothing. Well, like I said, sometimes it's a mindset shift with maybe you still need a job, maybe you need that financial reward. So you can start looking at other possibilities. Am I excited to find a new job? Am I excited to start my own business? Am I excited to pivot if you already have your own business and to create a new offer, or to teach in a different way, or to heal in a different way? Or maybe it is, I need some time off. So, as much as you can, follow your excitement. All right, that is all for this week's episode, but I will be back next week with a brand new episode. So until then, here's to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review and a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerofspirit.com. And you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.